Are you searching for information on opening a medical spa business and making it profitable within your first year? Or are you thinking about buying an existing medical spa business or selling one? In this video series, we showed our social media audience how to succeed in their business journey by sound and timeless strategies we've been using for over 20 years. We've used these strategies to grow aesthetic medical practices to 7-figure sales and beyond. We've decided to post this valuable information on YouTube because these timeless strategies might be just the thing you need to grow or start your business and succeed in the coming months and years.
I am excited today to share with you the tips of how to do productive meetings. And I'll tell you what, I think we all feel like we've got plenty of meetings on our books, but I want to talk today about the importance of meeting and communication and 5 tips of how to have a successful meeting every single time with your staff. If you've worked with PGC, you know that during our lead up to an event, we meet every week for 6 to 8 weeks in order to pull off a successful sales event. And you know, it's the same with pulling off successful things that you're doing in your company. We need regular communication, and I'm going to start over because I didn't know I didn't have my microphone on, so sorry guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And today, meetings. How do we have an effective meeting every time and not dread meetings and have them be productive and useful and helpful to you? So what I'm going to talk about today is, if you're not currently having daily or weekly meetings or monthly meetings with your staff, the importance of it is critical because communication is the glue that holds us together. And what I find is, when the staff is unaware of promotions coming up or events coming up, they get upset because they didn't plan for it, they don't have childcare. There's all kinds of reasons why. Being in the know is really a challenge because you might have your management meetings, but then it doesn't get disseminated down through your entire team. And so the results are not happening because maybe you don't have accountability, you don't have a process, you don't have a system. At Projected Growth Consulting, we are all about results. The proof is in the results. Proven systems creating proven results. So I am all about structure and process in order to get the desired results. So my goal is always to have stronger, shorter, smaller meetings that are highly, highly effective. And I'm going to give you my top 5 tips today of how to do just that. One of the most common questions I get is about weekly staff meetings. Weekly staff meetings are the backbone and the workhorse of your business. So if you think about how much you spend to have a staff meeting, say you have 5 people there, they each make $25 an hour. So let's say that meeting costs you $125. That's if it sticks to 1 hour. And that's if it starts on time and ends on time. And that is not calculating in the missed revenue that you are not making while you prep for the meeting or have the meeting or do the follow-up of the meeting, right? So that work time is getting taken away. So your average meetings are costing you anywhere between, usually $150 to thousands of dollars, depending on how expensive your people are and how many people you need there. That's why it's important that we have smaller meetings that are shorter and that are ultra superior in productivity. And the way that you do that is, let's start with stronger meetings. And that means clarity. You need to know the purpose of your meeting. So let's take an example of a weekly staff meeting, because those are the most popular, or maybe it's your weekly department head meeting. Let's say, first of all, we need a written agenda for that meeting. And on that agenda, I want you to really think about what is on there. My favorite way to run a typical 1-hour team meeting or department meeting is to, 1, start with going over our mission, making sure that we all know the company mission and the meeting meeting objective. Next, I like to have, if I've got a group of say 8 or less, I like them to share 1 personal win and 1 work win from the previous week. That gives us a chance to know each other as a team and start things on a positive note. After that, statistics that actually show progress by person or by department. Maybe the receptionist talks about how many calls they get and how many consults they booked, or how many upsells they have. Maybe someone on your team talks about the number of laser treatments they rendered and the number of upsells and their volume. You have to look at this by position, and if you've worked with us before, position description with compensation plans are critical. People knowing what their job is and how to measure whether they are effective or not is key. So in this weekly meeting, having a statistic that directly relates to the person's department or their position is key. So let's say I am an esthetician running a laser room and I'm also doing consultations. Each week I'd say I did this many treatments, I billed out this much revenue, I did this many consults, my closing ratio was this, and my total sales from those consults was $10,000. That's quick. Next department, next person. The fourth thing is accomplishments that you finished last week that were on the agenda, your to-do items, and the status report. And the fifth and last one is the action plan about any of the things you've discussed in that meeting that need to be taken care of. So you've got a 5-item action agenda: mission and reason for the meeting, wins, corporate and personal, statistic performance report, what you accomplished last week, and then in your group discussion, what are the things we need to do next week and who's assigned them and when are they due. Now, the way that this is handled and kept on time, I find, number one, start on time, end on time. Typical meeting times are 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and 55 minutes. In that 5 minutes early to give people time to get to the next meeting or for you to get to the next meeting. You need to have someone who's going to be your note taker so that at the end of the meeting, they've typed it out on their computer, everyone gets a copy at the end of the meeting. Consider recording meetings as well, and I'll get to why. You also need to have one person who chairs or runs the meeting to keep it on time. A lot of times that is not the owner or the manager. Maybe they are not good at staying on time. So who in your group is good at keeping you on time and on topic? So you've got one person taking notes so that at the end of the meeting the notes are done. You've got one person keeping you on time. You've got your set agenda that everyone is aware of from week to week. And that is how you create a stronger meeting, because we're going to talk about stronger, smaller, and shorter. Stronger, shorter, smaller, okay? So once you have decided, hopefully you're doing your meeting every Tuesday at 11 like we do our Facebook Live, or you're doing it the first Tuesday of the month at 8 a.m. Whether it's a weekly, monthly, or daily, try to keep it at the same time. Maybe you do a morning huddle and every day it starts at 9:30 because doors open at 10, and maybe it's a 15-minute session where you just talk about that day in particular. So daily staff meetings in a quick 15-minute huddle can be extremely helpful for everybody on the team. Weekly at a very minimum for your staff, or your department heads, I should say, and monthly for an entire staff meeting. So that is stronger. The stronger meeting means it's planned, your purpose is clear, you have an agenda, you've got someone to keep you on time, and you've got someone to take notes, okay? Then the next thing I'm going to talk about is the shorter meetings, and you do not have to spend an hour and a half or 2 hours at a meeting to get something done. You can give assignments and people report back. So I really like that 15 minutes, 25, and 55. Keep them as short as possible. Here's the one that might surprise you, smaller. Does everyone really need to be there? Can they just get a note, the notes and the to-do items? Can they just see a video? If you're working in a remote circumstance, I always make sure that everybody is required to have their Zoom camera on so we can tell if they're paying attention. We always record the meeting and send it out to everyone, which makes it smaller, less expensive, and sometimes shorter, right? Because not everyone has things to share. And that is really, in a nutshell, my approach to meetings. Meetings can waste time and money. They can bring down morale if they're not handled correctly. And if you don't have the right people at the particular meetings, you don't need extra people who are not responsible for handling things. But an all-staff meeting is an all-staff meeting, and you have to plan it accordingly so that everyone gets something out of that. And that is really the key here, because communication, whether it's in the recruiting, which we do sometimes way too fast, we don't take them through a recruiting protocol, which I am going to share with you, I believe, next week, how to hire strategically so that you reduce your turnover. Because one of the top 5 things you can do to kill your profit is to have high employee turnover or be doing wrong hires. Now, one of the reasons why people turn out to be a wrong hire or you get turnover is poor communication throughout the company. And that is directly related to meetings that are done on a regular basis that are disseminated down to everybody in the company or throughout the company so that people can plan, celebrate successes, work together to fix challenges. The communication is key. And what I find happens with a new employee that maybe shows up with all the skills is they are not communicated with, they're not mentored, there isn't a process to bringing them on to your team. There aren't regular meetings for them to understand what's happening. Meetings are critical, and they are, like I say, they're really that structure or that spine, if you will, of your company. What I like to do is weekly management meetings, monthly full staff meetings, and then a morning huddle for the team that is in the business that day. So that is my secret to success. Stronger, shorter, smaller meetings to the right people at the right times, and looking at them being on a regular basis, and making sure that you have a very clear agenda, that you stick to it, and people leave the meeting inspired by some fun that you've talked about, wins and people's personal wins and wins in the office. You also talk about what you accomplished last week and what you're going to accomplish this week moving forward, or last month and this month moving forward, or maybe it's yesterday and what you're going to try to do different today. So if you want any more help on this, you just reach out to us. We've got so many resources of how to grow your company, start your company, or turn around your company with over 20 years of success of building teams and running organizations to be profitable. Thanks again for joining us, and I look forward to your comments. If you're just starting meetings, reach out and let us know how they go. Make sure to check out our social media and our YouTube channel for lots of tips and tricks, as well as free information and resources on our website at projectedgrowthconsulting.com. We have online, immediate, on-demand courses. We also have an offer for a free copy of my book, Top 10 Profit Killers, which will help you organize your business and improve your business in a very strategic way. Each chapter does a survey that you fill out yourself so you can assess how you're doing now. And then the chapter explains how to do things according to best practices to run your business and to grow your practice, followed by an implementation checklist. Because, like I said, you can know everything, but if you don't implement it, you are not going to see those results. So it's all about the implementation.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification icon to be notified every time we post a new video. And don't forget to grab your free copy of our book and all of the resources we've provided. You can find the links in the description below.